tremendous looking trophy.
Hello, welcome to Platinum Station, number one PlayStation podcast in the Oceanias. My name's Tim Blunt. Joining me, as always, Ashley Helbley.
Hey Dylan, excited to be here, but disappointed that, the one time we have acquisition news before we record, it has nothing to do with PlayStation.
I mean, technically, the games are on PlayStation. It's just...
it's not PlayStation
centric. It's not PlayStation centric. No. So it doesn't really matter. No, fuck that shit. I'm happy to make jokes at Square Enix's expense on this podcast and Arcade Couch, though, if you want to. To be honest, that I'm down with.
I mean, okay, yeah. Yeah, it turns out NFTs are very expensive.
That's about it. Yep.
Cloud maintenance fees, very high.
I can't, yeah. I've been thinking that quote's been keeping me up all night. Fucking ridiculous. Anyway, I'm sure we'll talk a bunch of fucking embrace.
Maybe we've just misconstrued it and it's not cloud, like as in the cloud, but actual more cloud spin-offs.
No, I really don't think that's what it is at all. No.
We can only hope.
I don't know. It's like having a friend like sell their home and like invest it all in, just
in crypto.
Yeah, cryptocurrency. Yeah. And there's not really an analogy. You kind of just have to in cryptocurrency. Yeah.
It's like your friend sells their house and then they just use that money to buy, those stars you can buy. Like you can name the stars. It's like they invest all their money in that.
There we go. It's about as smart a decision, I think. In the trophy cabinet this week, silver trophy for a potential PlayStation preservation team, a gold trophy for VRR finally being out for people who can and care to use it. It's not Ashley Hobley. And we hit a platinum for pricing being announced for PlayStation Plus changes. Thanks for me. Come back to that in a moment. Firstly, PlayStation Plus games for May will be out by the time you're listening to this. Yes, they'll be out by the time you're listening to this. But they are for May. You get FIFA 22 on your PS4, your PS5. You get Tribes of Midgard on your PS5, your PS4. And you get Curse of the Dead Gods on PS4. What do you make of this month's games?
Good month, in my opinion,
Just for FIFA? Or?
Yeah, because, I waited, never bought it. Now I got it. And I don't have to buy another FIFA for several years now. Because there'll probably all be slight iterations on this, so yeah. Good deal. And Tribes of Midgard, that was a game that I was interested in, but never picked up, so that's cool. That if it's on PS Plus and, like, everybody's going to have it, and, it'll be easy to get some friends to, like, jump into this game that's probably, like, all the bugs are out. It's probably solid at this point with lots of extra content, so yeah, that's a good pickup as well.
Yeah, I feel like it's a decent month. I mean, the month relies heavily on if you care about FIFA or not, because that's the lead, the big title. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, if you don't care for FIFA or sports, yeah, it's probably a bit disappointing. But yeah, that's pretty big. Yeah. Pretty big get, and I feel like it's a reasonably universal game. Like even Americans will play FIFA. It's like,
if I want to play soccer, I'm going to go boot up Nintendo Wii Switch Sports.
Nintendo Switch Sports.
Got him. Anyway, yeah, what's your pick
Check
of the
out
month?
This week's Arcade Couch.
Yeah, what's your pick of the month?
I'll go FIFA.
I'll go Tribes of Midgard because that was probably the one out of the three. If I'm playing one of these, it'd end up being that. Yeah. I probably won't play any of these. To be completely honest. If I was going to play anything on PlayStation Plus recently, I would actually like to, if I had the time and the effort, it would be go play SpongeBob from last month, because I know like it was like meh reviews, but I kind of want to play it, and I'm assuming it's an easy platinum, but yeah. So
I don't think it is. It's like a collectathon, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean it's just a collectathon. It's not like it's difficult.
It's time consuming.
Yeah, I don't know. How hard can it be? All right. After complaining about last week and the PlayStation gods heard me, so they chose to drop this news straight after we finished recording. because they're always listening. They have secret FBI, CIA level microphones in the Explosion Network offices, Ash. I don't know if you know.
Holy shit.
That's how PlayStation always fucks us, because they're always listening. Always listening. So after I complained last week about, PlayStation Australia needs to get the shit together and drop the pricing on the PlayStation Plus changes in Australia, they were like, yes, good point, Dylan. Let's do that. And fuck you. So as soon as the episode drops, it's 10 minutes of complaining that's completely pointless. Got me again, PlayStation. Anyway, PlayStation's put out the pricing. So here we go. PlayStation Plus, I'll read all the readouts again, even though we've been over this a million times. I feel like this one. But PlayStation Plus Essential, which is enhance your PlayStation experience with core features, including online multiplayer, access to PS4 and 1 PS5 games to download every month, exclusive discounts, and more. AKA exactly
what we've got right now,
yeah.
The exact same price as what we've got now.
Yes, so it's the exact same pricing. 1 month, $11.95. 3 months, $33.95. 12 months, $79.95. Right, PlayStation Plus Extra. Enjoy all PlayStation Plus essential benefits and explore a world of incredible gaming experiences with the game catalog featuring hundreds of downloadable PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 games. 1 month, $18.95. 2 months, I presume that's 3 and I've fucked up here. So 3 months, $54.95. I'll own it. I'll carry it. I fucked up here. 3 months, $54.95. 12 months, $134.95. So about 50
so
extra
40
bucks. I'm rounding up.
$45, yeah. No.
You good at maths or?
$55.
Yeah. PlayStation Plus Deluxe. Get all PlayStation Plus benefits from the offer plans, plus game trials and access to definitive games from years gone by in the Classics catalog. 1 month, $21.95. 3 months, $63.95. And 12 months, $144.95. So the difference between your basic plan up to this one is $75. Yeah. Which is, I mean, it's nearly double. Let's just make it.
Yeah.
It's nearly double. It's basically double the price. That's all rough, as I point out in our news piece here, where I've put 2 instead of 3. It works out to be roughly what I was sort of expecting. Like when I wrote estimates in the original article I put up, based on the USD, and sort of rounded up the prices. Like, this converts to 134, so let's say it's probably going to be 139. Like just guesstimating. It kind of worked out to what I expected it to be. Looking at this, now that we know the prices, when all this comes and they've confirmed June 22nd, Australia, are you upgrading to anything? Extra deluxe?
Not right now. I think once they release the catalogs of content, that's when I'll be most likely to make a decision. Because, it's double the price for all these games that, let's be honest, I'm probably not going to play a hell of a lot of because, we have enough time struggling to pick up the games we currently play. Although, the thing that is tempting is the game trials. So, I don't...
2 hours.
This past week, from what we understand, well, from rumors or whatever, every single game on PlayStation that's worth more than $35 after this launches will have a 2-hour free trial. Which, for us, assuming they, release the free trial with the launch of the game, that could be good content-wise. Like, play 2 hours of blah, 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 of Modern Warfare 2 or whatever, when it comes out, so yeah.
I think
that's tempting.
The original story was PlayStation was requiring devs to do it, and then I think the updated story was PlayStation.
First 3 months.
PlayStation's going to do it, or something, or they're going to help. I don't know, but also within the first 3 months.
Yeah,
adds up. I mean, they're offering a service where they're saying exclusive game demo trials, and if it was only for PlayStation exclusive games, you get a handful every year. It's not really a big selling point. Whereas if it's every game over 35 USD, I guess, so it'd be closer to every game
So
over 50
because of,
Australian
50.
or something, probably.
Yeah.
Just guesstimating, but yeah. So every game probably over 50 Australian dollars. So I mean, it does knock out a bunch of indie stuff, you know. Like, and most indie games are not going to be over that $50 estimated price line.
Or if they are, they're like pretty dense.
They're pretty big, yeah.
Yeah.
So it means like a game like Bugsnax, right? DLC just dropped, haven't played it. Sorry, we're not talking about it. Came out on Friday, right? But anyway, the base version of that game, it's like 6 hours, I think, you know. So imagine doing a 2-hour demo. It's like, well, you've nearly played half the game. So I get it.
But would people pay for the full game to finish the experience?
That's always the argument, I guess.
Yeah.
It's always the argument.
So they give you a taste of the first 15 minutes of a really good movie.
Maybe there's an opt-in.
I'd assume there would be.
That'd be helpful. Hey, my game's not over this limit, but can we get a trial up anyway? You've done the work. You know? PlayStation, can you put this up?
Yeah, probably.
We're willing to do it. We think it'll help our sales. And does help your sales. Publish this demo. Yeah, I mean, yeah, so obviously I'm in agreement with you, and I feel like that's how most people are going to be looking at this. Like, hey, prices is one thing. Where's the games? Like, give me the list of games. Yep. What am I paying for here? It's one thing that you hear this story about game trials. You're like, cool, that sounds like a nifty feature. But everything else between Extra and Deluxe is built upon these libraries of games of which we know
nothing.
Compared to in America where you're getting access to, like, you can look at PlayStation Now and go, well, that's what I'm getting, plus some other shit yet to be announced. You know, like, at least you have a starting point to sort of figure out what you're going to be paying for. We have no idea. 2 games are apparently leaked, or 3 games, I think, maybe last I heard, had, like, leaked, and then add that onto the potential siphon filter thing, and I know maybe we've got, like, 5-6 games out of, like, hundreds that have potentially leaked. I saw, like, there was a thing go up, like, oh, Tekken 2 and 3 and some other shit, like, cool. Fucking Ridge Racer on the PSP or something, like, popped up on a ratings board, or, you know, some, like, all these random things. But I mean, we need to see the full list, and we need to know if Ridge Racer on PSP is going to have trophies or not. If their answer is yes, suddenly the service becomes worth so much more. So much more. If the answer is no, I don't give a fuck about Ridge Racer. All right. So, talking about what people are doing with the PlayStation Plus changes, story comes from Push Square. Sony confirms PlayStation Plus subscription stacking has been blocked. So, the PlayStation Plus, original article here was, Sony has officially confirmed that it has now blocked existing PlayStation Plus subscribers from stacking memberships prior to the release of its new tiers. And a sneaky update to the FAQ, the platform holder added the following language, quote, if you currently have a PlayStation Plus or PlayStation Now membership, due to the changes we are making to the service prior to launch, you won't be able to redeem a voucher code for that service until your existing membership expires and deactivates, or after the new PlayStation Plus service launches in your area, whichever happens first. Because this was, people were doing the maths, basically working out, hey, I'm going to get a upgrade, like if you were on PlayStation Now or whatever, like they say here, it's like PlayStation Now, whatever the cost was, American dollars. If you got the free upgrade to the second tier, you know, extra or whatever that starts at. Anyway, people worked out you're going to work out cheaper. And for a while there, I was seeing people on Twitter doing this. Like, people were buying vouchers. I'm sure some people are going to get away with it before Sony enacted their blocking here. How do you feel about Sony blocking this? Because I'm of 2 minds. I'm like, technically they can do what they want, but also, I mean, it's a product on the shelf. So if someone walks into JB Hi-Fi and says, oh, I might just grab this voucher while I'm here. Then they get home. They're not trying to be sneaky. You know what I mean? They're not trying to be sneaky. And they can't even activate it.
Yeah.
It's a product on a store shelf. They're going to be very confused. So
I don't mind it. It's fine. I mean, now that they've set the line in the sand and going, hey, from this point on, you're not allowed to stack anymore. They're not removing the stacking that was done previous to this.
No.
So if you had already stacked, you would be fulfilled for whatever things you counted on. And then all the codes that you buy now will still be valid for the same monetary amount.
After.
Once this launches, yeah. So I don't see what the big deal is. People are just getting upset because they can't exploit it anymore.
Yeah. I just think it's, for the example I'm giving this, it's sort of it's a weird dilemma to have where, you know, some people who aren't up to date with the news are just going to be like, I don't know why isn't my code working? Like, does it pop up with a message?
But
now?
it won't not work. It just won't work now.
Yeah, how are they going to know that though?
Unless their thing's expired.
Yeah.
So they're still going to be able to use their service. They're just not going to be able to claim that code now.
But if someone goes home with a code now, doesn't know what's happening, and they go to redeem it on the PlayStation, and it pops up, does it just say, nah, you can't use this now? Like, I want to know.
I don't know. Probably.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure it wouldn't be that hard to search Google. Why isn't my code working right now?
Yeah, but what if they assume it's like
stories.
a dud code, and they go back to JB Hi-Fi, get another code,
then
take it
I'm
home.
sure the very informed game manager there at JB Hi-Fi, who is very experienced and is very nice, would inform them of what the changes currently are going on.
Gotta hope so, I guess. Because I'm like, this person's driving backwards and forwards between the local JB Hi-Fi or whatever. Just like, no one has any idea why any of these codes aren't working. Sucks to be them. Yeah, I mean, mine's stacked up to, I haven't actually looked, but, you know, I think I've got like a few years left on mine, so it's like,
yeah.
I don't know what happened. I actually don't really understand. Do you know how this works? So, like, I'll just...
No.
Yeah.
So, hang on.
Because my thing is going to be, all right, so I'm going to automatically get upgraded to... So, let's say mine expire like 2024.
You'll be transitioned to PS Plus Essential.
Yes.
But then what happens if you want to change it to one of the higher tiers?
Yeah.
I assume they've got some sort of math like they have in this chart that they put out that will just reduce it to whatever.
I'm going to hope so because, yeah, because I'm presumably, as I said, even without waiting to say if it's good or not, I'm presumably going to just upgrade to Deluxe so I can have a play around, try out stuff anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the content, as they say. But if I have mine stacked to like 2024, 2025 or something, because I know I've got a few years left on it, I don't want to I don't want to be like, you know, do I have to pay 12 months worth? And then they're like, oh, you've got a year of this and you've got 2 years left of essentials if you drop down, so you won't have to pay for essential. I'm like, no, can you just convert what I've got into like what it equals in Deluxe money? You know what I mean? Like if I'm through to 2024, can you convert that to a year and a half of Deluxe?
I would assume so. That would be the best option, but you know, it's Sony. So.
Yeah, I know. It's just, I mean, I'm not gonna. It's not the end of the world. It's one of those. Yeah, these things. It's a bit weird, but. All right, let's get into some hiring and other stuff that's happening this week. So, PlayStation Lifestyle, right? PlayStation hiring a director for acquisitions and investments, not of the NFT kind. So PlayStation Lifestyle writes in the news that Embracer Group bagging Square Enix properties wasn't enough for you today. Here's another one. Sony's hiring a director of corporate development whose role will involve identifying opportunities for PlayStation acquisitions. As spotted by Twitter user Roberto Serrano, the incumbent will be responsible for inorganic growth opportunities that also include investments and joint ventures. So the post, which was on the like a job board thing for Sony, says, quote, Sony Interactive Entertainment PlayStation seeks a highly qualified director of corporate development. SAE's corporate development team works closely with SAE's management team and is responsible for identifying inorganic growth opportunities through acquisitions, investments, and joint ventures. The team sources, evaluates, and completes transactions that align with SAE's strategic priorities and drive significant long-term value for the company. This seems, I don't know. What do you make of this? Making a team, making a few jobs, making, at least one person's job be to look at places to potentially buy. Is that like a weird job to suddenly have? Like how many acquisitions do you think Sony's planning to make if this is a whole job now? Like it's
I don't know. It seems a bit odd unless they're planning to do a lot of acquisitions in the near future, continue to build. It's probably if that's their plan, I guess it makes sense to have somebody in charge of it. But yeah, obviously we've seen them making different sorts of investments. Like obviously they invested into Discord and invested into Epic and made other those type of investments. So it's not just buying different studios and that kind of thing. But yeah, I think it is an interesting choice and might be important given the talk of different studios potentially being up for sale that are going around at the moment.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, the rumor there was that rumor that Sony was going to buy Square, which I just thought
it could still be.
Yeah. And yeah, so Sony could, after we publish this episode, most likely, I'll continue to make that joke, even though
Square Enix Japan, yeah.
They could buy out some of the more Japanese leaning, or the Japanese developers, I guess. And Square could be left with nothing but Final Fantasy
and blockchain.
Yeah, well, I was going to say NFTs and blockchain. I presume
they're pivoting. Square Enix is pivoting. They're just doing NFTs and blockchain stuff from now on. Much in the way Konami pivoted and is just doing pachinko machines.
That would be a crazy world if
that's real. That's where the real money is.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, given what's happened now with the Embracer Group, with what's left. If if Square Enix is still looking to make money, they've still got some stuff they can sell off. Japanese developers and stuff, and that would suit more in line with obviously where Sony's located and company culture and all this sort of stuff. So Square really only needs to keep Final Fantasy for primarily Final Fantasy 14, which is a consistent moneymaker, obviously being the MMO, and then they can continue to put out Final Fantasy games and spin-offs and stuff like that, and then go fucking live in the digital future. I don't know. Because there's some stuff. Yeah. There's other stuff they kept. They never got rid of Life is Strange, or that's still
Outriders.
Outriders.
Yeah, those two.
Yeah, there's still some stuff there that is. They didn't sell everything as much as some people online seem to be acting. They've still got some stuff potentially.
Tomb Raider, come on.
Yeah, and the Tomb Raider's a big one. There's some stuff there they could still either be holding onto or looking to sell to. Yeah, someone else like a Sony, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, someone's job's going to be to lay out and do the maths on what's worth buying, investing in, and all that sort of stuff for Sony. So,
but let's bring it up here. Obviously, the other rumor going around is the Warner Brother video game studios are up for sale as well, without the IPs, and they would have to be licensed back to Warner. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think, maybe Sony would look at one or two of those studios and go, yeah, that's worth it.
It's going to be such a fucking mess if that happens. It's so weird. So, you've got Warner Brothers has these game studios who are currently working on a bunch of Warner Brothers properties, obviously the Batman games and stuff, which are yet to release. So even if they sold the studios now, they can technically sell them, but then they continue to work on the games until they're published. So they may be owned by someone else publishing a Batman game, and then the studio sold the DC property back, who can then sell it to someone else to make a game, while someone else who's not even owned by them is continuing to make it a Batman game, even though they don't work with the company anymore. You know what I mean? It would just get very confusing very quickly.
I mean, PlayStation paid Insomniac to make a Marvel video game exclusive to the PlayStation console, so anything is possible.
Anything is possible. I don't know.
And then they bought that company.
Look, ever since
to continue to make video games based on that Marvel property that they don't own.
Yes. My point.
And then they made them make another game about another Marvel property that they don't own. So
I think the moment where I stopped saying anything's possible. Well, no, I started saying anything's possible now is the Activision. I think that was when I was like,
everything's possible. Everything's on the table.
Yeah. Not the Bethesda. Bethesda was crazy, but I was like, that's wild, but
that's a one-off, yeah.
Sure, what crazy things happen every now and then, And then when Activision happened, I was like, we're living in a time, everyone. We're living in a time, Fucking anything's possible. But just so many stories. You can't even just all the rumors and stuff.
And that's why we need an acquisitions manager.
Yeah. I need a fucking acquisitions manager to sort through what rumors are potentially worth talking about on this fucking podcast. Oh, Jesus Christ. There's like 10 a week. PlayStation Lifestyle. PlayStation taps Zynga and Kabam executives to lead a mobile push. I know we've talked about the mobile stuff before, but they continue to just shuffle papers around. But Sony isn't just renewing its push into PC gaming, it's also keen to take PlayStation mobile games to the next level if the company's too high as any indication. As reported by Mobile Game Adopters, Sony has tapped former Zynga and Kabam executives to take up senior roles. Kabam's Chris Davies has joined PlayStation as Senior Director and Head of Mobile Business Development, and former Meta and Zynga executive Oliver Quartermanchi? I'm so sorry, has taken up the position of Head of Mobile Product. Again, back in February, Sony Group CFO Hiroki Toki said that Sony plans to release mobile games and experiences based on popular IPs. His comments, which were made during a call with investors, echoed those of SIE CEO Jim Ryan, who noted in May 2021 that PlayStation has a huge catalog of diverse first-party IP that can transition into smartphone gaming and complement their AAA games. So yeah, we talked about all that. They're still continuing to not quickly push their big mobile games push, considering that is like literally a year ago that those comments from Big Jim Jog were from. So, but again, more hires as they continue. I don't know, PlayStation at the moment is making a lot of behind the scene moves, as you can see by sort of what's happening here with all of the hires and all this sort of stuff. You know what I mean? Like we got. What do you make of this? Do you reckon they're slowly going to hire up the developers to make these big mobile games based on like Uncharted and stuff? Like, what's the?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I mean, the mobile game space is pretty big, especially not necessarily in the Western world, but obviously in Asia. Like, you need to look at the success of like Call of Duty Mobile and those sort of games. And they've got certain IPs that would fit something like that. Like, imagine if they made a Resistance mobile game.
What would you do
in the style of the Call of Duty?
Oh, like Call of Duty, right?
Shit.
Yeah, okay. I thought it was like it's a card game.
Yeah. I mean, sure. Just stick a bunch of card games in there.
Ideally,
bring Machine Strike, the fantastic Horizon video minigame, over to mobile. It worked for Gwent, so.
That's a good point. They put so much effort into that too, when you look back. Like, when you look at Horizon and see, like, the amount of effort. And I didn't want to play it. I didn't enjoy playing it in the game. But I feel like there's enough idea there that, yeah, maybe as a separate thing as, like, a mobile game, I would enjoy it a lot more, you know? But within the game, I was like,
Give me a daily Ghost of Tsushima haiku generator.
I mean, I'm sure there's an app that's just a haiku generator.
Yeah, but it's not Ghost of Tsushima themed.
I'm sure
you don't have Jin sitting in a spa in a hot tub.
Water flow through the red leaves. Come and go is the way of life. I don't know. I can't haiku. I mean, to be fair, most of the haikus people made in that game, as people pointed out.
Just press A.
It's gibberish. It wasn't even like proper haikus.
Yeah.
I think I probably did like half where I was trying to make like something poetic, and then it got to a point where I was like, whatever. I don't care anymore. Flowing water, trees of grass, kangaroo jumping. Oh, where's my flask? Oh, what's this? It's gibberish.
Yeah. But yeah, I think there's a lot of potential. Like, even like you could stick like a game, like a mobile game with a bunch of like those Ratchet and Clank puzzles, the Clank puzzles, those sort of things. And yeah, I'm sure there's a bunch of like, I'm sure there is also a bunch of older games that you could easily port over to mobile.
I feel like there's the thing with the mobile stuff is I often find it's like. It's almost like breaking into a new market. So I think hiring people like ex-Zynga people and whatever else to sort of head up that is the right choice. I don't think getting people to work on this big push into mobile should be anyone who's going to treat it as we're making games for already PlayStation fans who are mobile gamers. Like, because I feel like the crossover is very small, you know? Like, you and I dabble in mobile games. Like, we'll play mobile games.
Yeah.
I would say the majority of your PlayStation user base, fan base, whatever, probably aren't mobile gamers. Simply because PlayStation users are considered, you know, more of the quote-unquote hardcore gamer type, or, you know, even like a casual gamer like who just plays FIFA or COD or whatever, but they probably don't dabble in or care to play mobile games. You know, like I feel like you need to treat it like it's a totally new audience. They don't know what Uncharted is. They don't know what Ratchet and Clank is. Even if you're, you know, trying to bring over some of the fan base to try them, you got to go like, treat it brand new.
Here's another one. Last of Us themed zombie settlement builder.
You trying to get hired, or is that what that was?
Yeah. I'm just going to pitch ideas, and then if there's still any.
All right. Heard it here first. Ash is moving on.
Yeah.
Into PlayStation. Sony has apparently created a PlayStation game preservation team. More weird jumpings and jobs coming at PlayStation. So PlayStation lifestyle rights. So newly created preservation team, which could be in charge of preserving PlayStation classics, according to a LinkedIn and Twitter post by Garrett Fredley, a new senior build engineer at the company. His post suggests that his team will be specifically dedicated to game preservation, leading to hopes that this will culminate in the much requested PS3 emulation, or at the very least, archival work for the vast library of legacy PlayStation titles. So the quote was written by this Garrett Fredley, who's doing the job, says, "Today is my first day as senior build engineer for PlayStation, working as one of the initial hires for the newly created preservation team. Game preservation was my first career passion. It was my first foray into the world of software engineering, DevOps, and into a world that so many are unaware of. Let's go and ensure our industry's history isn't forgotten." Lifestyle continues. It is unclear what the priorities will be for this new PlayStation game preservation team. Fredley himself has 3 years of experience as a software engineer at Electronic Arts, as noted on his main LinkedIn profile page, where he headed the preservation efforts for the FIFA franchise, resulting in the complete archival of multiple titles. He's also spoken about game preservation at GDC in March of 2019 in a talk called Game Preservation Best Practices, a real-life EA case study. What do you think they're doing? Like, or ideally, what would you think that this team should be doing?
I assume they're getting games ready to go on PS Plus. Okay.
You reckon that's it?
I think that's the main aim. I'm sure, like, making sure they've got playable versions of everything. Maybe they've got plans for, some sort of museum or something down the line. But yeah, I think that's the obvious opposite thing. Like, make them so we can make money off them.
I think that's an argument every time. Like, what was it? What was when they turned the PSP library off or whatever, and people were, the whole argument about, like, from a preservation standpoint, there's a bunch of games on there that aren't, like, ported elsewhere or available elsewhere and whatever else. So, ideally, I think the best, even though, yes, you can turn this around in a way to make money from it, which I do think is fine to a point, as long as you're not over, like, like if it's just part of the subscription service or whatever, it's like, you're hitting 2 stones, 1 bird, or no, 1 stone for 2 birds, 2 birds for 1 stone. I just pictured, like, this chicken. I'm fucking, like, throwing it. So you go get all these titles, because some of them been published in lots of places, some of them haven't been, but I'm thinking about a bunch of that stuff, like there's a bunch of those PSP mini games. They're just called minis and stuff. Like, where the fuck are they? Nowhere. You can't play them anywhere. They were only available there. I'm sure there's a bunch of, like, early dev, like a bunch of those people who either joined other teams now, or maybe those studios have grown into bigger things, and it's like, oh, I wish we had, like, a way to show off that game that we made or something like that. So yeah, I don't know, like, someone working on a way to store PlayStation or just games in general for PlayStation in a way that into the future would be easy to publish on a streaming service platform or internet archival basis or whatever. Because I guess if you're porting them all and developing them all on a software front that's built entirely around streaming or whatever, then you're never going to have to worry about, you're not porting it a million times over to work with the PS5, PS6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever. It's always just like, we'll build it for cloud, we'll build it for streaming, we'll make that the focus. It's only ever going to be available on the internet. That's the future. Cool story, let's go. I don't know. It's cool that if they are like trying to, I think whenever I've read stuff about games preservation, I do think there's a lot of good points to be made about how it's like, it is treated terribly, and it's sort of like, it's not even like, it's sort of like a repetition of like repeating history to a degree, because they went through this with film where no one cared about film for so long, and then suddenly it was like, oh shit, like maybe we should be like preserving film history. And it was like, oh fuck, we've lost a bunch of stuff, and all this sort of stuff. So it's almost sort of silly, the fact that games are more recent arts industry, and they're like, yeah, that's fine. Like, it's like you went through this with films, like, and I'm sure the same thing happened to books. I don't know, but I know for sure, films was like not preserved well or whatever for years and years and years. So for a long time, they're doing it again. So I don't know. PlayStation Indies montage. So, Kieran, writing for Press Starts, like posted about the PlayStation Indies montage. That cool trailer. Well, it's like a TV spot, really. I don't know if it's actually on TV, but it's like a TV spot length thing. But he's been doing like a lot of maths lately, based on the he posted on his Twitter, and it like turns out to be right, most of it, or all of it. I think he's posted. So, and he's like, so he writes here, PlayStation's dropped a short.
You heard it here first. Kieran Verbruge is very good at maths.
I mean, I believe in him. PlayStation dropped a short 25-second teaser video highlighting 3 upcoming indie heavy hitters and confirming or reconfirming their planned release windows. The video contains a montage of footage from Stray, We Are OFK, and Cult of the Lamb, each with text denoting the seasons we can expect to see them. Naturally, the release windows are listed below according to Northern Hemisphere seasons. So, like, he's... because he keeps this thing on his Twitter where he keeps like looking at the order of the PlayStation games, like in the coming soon section and what order they're like listed in, and then like sort of guesstimating when to release. And all of those have lined up to sort of what the ones he's had here and other recent releases or release dates that were announced. Like the most recent ones, like Track the Yomi's out later this week, right? And like he guessed it was sort of coming out around now. I don't know. So I don't know. Look at that PlayStation coming home section. Apparently, if they move stuff around. I don't know, secretly, even though it's supposed to just be random. Anyway, Stray should be coming out somewhere between June 1st to August 31st. We Are OFK should be coming out somewhere between June 1st to August 31st. And Cult of the Lamb should be coming out somewhere between September 1st to November 30th. Stray could be out very fucking soon. I mean, June's next month. I don't know if anyone's keeping up. We're in the 5th month now. We Are OFK could be out very soon as well. I'm excited for all these games though, so I'm happy to get, my hands on any and all of the above. If Cult of the Lamb comes out later this year, however, if it's going to have like a late October, November release date, I'm like, does that mean we'll get potentially hands-on at PAX, ahead of release? It is an Australian game, so just saying.
Like even more hands-on, but
even more hands-on because last time it was hey, this is a tech demo, like blah blah blah. Or whatever else. And they also had like a thing sign up saying like, can you please not talk about this? I proceeded to completely fuck that because I keep mentioning that I've played this at PAX. I was like,
so yeah,
you don't have a demo at PAX and be like, come on.
You can never talk about it.
Put it behind closed doors. Make me sign an embargo. I'm talking about stuff if it's on the show floor. Are you excited for all 3 of these or like what's the...
Yeah, I'm keen for all 3, so it's pretty exciting. Maybe the 3 biggest indies we've still got coming this year.
I'm sure there'll be some random shit out of left field, but like maybe that we know of. Yeah. Like currently, if you like without even looking, if you'd be like upcoming games that you're excited about, this doesn't have release date, I'd be like Stray. Like that's probably the first one I'm gonna,
or the cat game.
Yeah, I'd be like the cat game. When's it coming? I need to know.
Yeah.
And I'm all about it. We Are OFK.
Yeah. Very exciting.
Can't wait to play them soon. Moving on.
Just confirm a date.
Yeah, no, just give me the fucking date. Stop fucking around. What do you think you got? God of War? Give me a goddamn date. And then finally, for anyone who cares, so VRR, the update finally went live for PlayStation 5s. In case you don't know, variable refresh rate. So to use this, you have to have a more recent TV. So you got to have a HDMI 2.1 enabled TV, and then you got to make sure you don't have a shitty $2 from the op shop HDMI cable as well, or else it won't work. Anyway, so the games that Push Square has a nice updated list. I thought I'd just read through. Here's all the games that are currently being patched for VRR support. So you got Astro's Playroom, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, Call of Duty Vanguard, Destiny 2, Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, Dirt 5, Ghostwire Tokyo, Godfall, Marvel Spider-Man Remastered, Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, Resident Evil Village, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, and Tribes of Midgard. I've been watching a few videos on the Spider-Man stuff with VRR, where they've got like ray tracing enabled and stuff, and they're hitting like somewhere between 40 to 50 frames per second. Very good, very cool. For people who care, obviously, I know Ash is like, no, everything looks the same. I have glasses. I need to wear 2 pairs to be able to fucking see the difference between 720p and 1080p. I'd advise him to go to an optometrist, go listen to last week's episode of Arcade Couch Between the Cushions. We discuss eye doctors a lot. Anyway, to apply this, you've got to go to settings, screen and video output. And if you want it to work on every game or attempt it to work on every game, you can tick a little thing that says apply to unsupported games. So always try and like sort of do what it does anyway. So anyone who's obviously a PC gamer is like, oh, what the hell? I've had this for ages. Oh, look at my fucking G Max fucking monitor. Cool story, bro. And then also Xbox fans. I've had this since Xbox Series X launched. I mean, all of that's true. It's all true. It's all very true. I can't even argue. It's all true. However, it's now on PlayStation for people who care. Very good. So I'm sure it will make difference. I know there are some games where, you know, they have these options where it's like, man, like I wish there was like a mode between here and here. I'm keen. So the most recent one that dropped was Ghostwire Tokyo. And maybe if I could be bothered, I don't know if I will, to be honest. But that was the one where I played in ray tracing for all of like a couple minutes when I was reviewing that. And I would only ever flick it back onto the highest like visual qualities, like ray trace enabled mode if I ever want to take like a photo mode, because it just ran like absolute ass otherwise. So that's one where I'm like, I don't know, would VRR make a difference to that with it enabled? I have no idea. That's where I need old mates at Digital Foundry to drop me a nice video that I can sit back, relax, and have them tell me all the things that I'm not smart enough to figure out for myself. And that'll do it for this week's episode of Item Explosion. Let us know any comments, questions, concerns you've got, of course, by heading over to our Discord, explosionnetwork.com/Discord, tweet at us, explosionnetwork.com/Twitter. You can write stuff on our Discord, like Michael did. He said, confession time, I'm using my second PSN account to get trophies again from my favorite games, but not chasing a plat unless it's easy. How do you feel about this? Replaying a game. So not just replaying. So you're not like, oh, I love Spider-Man, right? Or you know, like a game you really love. You're not just replaying it on your current profile because you just want to replay it for fun. You want to replay it and get the satisfaction of earning the trophies. So creating a second profile to get the pop as you go. How do you feel about this? Ashley Holby, the mic's in your hands.
Whatever floats your boat.
No, I need a harder take. I need Arcade Ashley here right now. I need a more like.
It's bullshit. As soon as you finish a game, you should never play it again. You should be a one-off experience. Played it the one way. Don't double up on these trophies. You know, one game, one trophy.
That's better.
One account, one trophy. That's how it works. Using up all these usernames that other people can't use now. Terrible.
That's better. Thank you very much. I read this and I went, nah. It's It's like I enjoy getting trophies, right? But it's like that needle's being used. It's dirty. So
is it different to earning a trophy on PS5 to PS4? I guess is the only thing.
No, it's fine. It's like, it's just a trophy's a trophy, you know? Here's the platinum for Spider-Man Miles Morales. Just inject that shit, fucking felt great, you know? And it's like then taking that needle, refilling it with cocaine, and sticking it back in. Unhealthy. Go get a new needle with a new platinum injection. Do that. Or just replay the game. I don't know how I feel about this.
Don't try and recreate the experience
don't
of the
try
first time.
Don't. You only get the pop cherry once, you know what I'm saying?
That's what I was...
You can't make a second PSN profile to... You're either a virgin or you're not, you know what I'm saying?
It's an artificial hymen is what you're saying.
Yes. What turn we took here? Also, the second party said in this message, though, I'm totally on board with, also, you don't have to get a lot of plats to be a trophy hunter. No, you don't. And that's why I end every episode of the show with, remember, every trophy counts.
Except if they're on another profile.
Except if they're not on another profile. That's fucking a waste of time. Go get new trophies, for fuck's sake. They can.